It's 8:55 in the morning. We're still running from the front, and we're leaving Pine Island Anchorage, and today we'll head down through the salt marshes and up to St. Augustine, and down below that if the rain will let us. It's pretty wild through this stretch. Now Captain Connie's running from below, but I thought I'd show that when you're coming into St. Augustine, you're just coming across the salt marsh, and you round a bend, and boom, all of a sudden there's the control tower, the airport. The airport, I used to fly in there quite often in my flying days, and you're going to swing right on around into the city. Now when you're coming into St. Augustine Harbor here, the deep side of the bridge is on the east side, and I'll show you something on the chart to watch out for that other people have pointed out. When we're coming down, notice on the chart they've cut this line right across that bar, and they say to go around 60 and come back in, and you'll be in the deep water. There's the inlet. We're going to swing right around 60 here and head right on back down toward the city. The intercoastal begins down in there. Now you can see the old fort. We'll be cruising right past that. St. Augustine's the oldest city in America, and that's the old Spanish fort built in the 1500s. And practically every nation at one time has shelled that thing, but it was never taken. It's built out of coquina rock, and evidently they contracted with the same people to build forts at Piccolata, and this one we're going to see at Rattlesnake Island that I've got at treasuresites.com, because they're all built out of the same material. And cannonballs would simply, there's cannonballs still stuck in that thing. They go in it and wouldn't penetrate, they just stick. There's your basic Spanish fort, Castillo de San Marcos, and it was certainly the largest and most successful fort they had. St. Augustine was a successful city for the Spanish, but St. Augustine itself proved to be a poor harbor. There were any number of ships lost coming through the bar there, and the French had a better idea of building up in Jacksonville a fort. Unfortunately for them, the Spanish agreed and put practically all of them to the sword at a point just south of here that I'll probably end up showing you today. We got the anchorage. I understand this anchorage here is very poor holding swift currents, and then there's one south of the bridge that I'm told is better ground.
This is the Serendipity following the schooner. What will be your opening height that you're closed over?
South Anchorage. Mistakes come at a high cost. In our southernmost bridge, most people are not going to have a problem with that at all. I guess this must be tricky at night, because we're seeing quite a few grounded sailboats. I tell you, south of St. Augustine, there are numerous places to run afoul, and I'd be exceedingly cautious coming up through here towards the Kansas cut. Now from St. Augustine you have Butler Beach and then Crescent Beach. We're at the Crescent Beach Bridge, 25 feet. Fixing to go under that. Now I tell you, that's a windy passage, and the prudent mariner would pay a lot of attention coming down through there. Now that's Fort Matanzas, and that is your standard Spanish fort built in this area. Now in 15, 16, and 1700s Florida, this was life for a lot of Spanish soldiers. Were at these outposts, and evidently they must have used the same contractor to build them all, because from plans I've seen for all of them, they were the same. This is on Rattlesnake Island. Now on this spread of island over here, the Spanish marched the French from Fort Caroline over here, and one by one they gave them the choice to convert to Catholicism or suffer the sword, and all but 3 of them went by the sword. So that was the end of the French hopes in Florida for a fort. Now you can see this fort on treasure dive sites, treasuresites.com, by going into the Northeast site files, and it's one of them. And the reason I put it there was to describe the forts and pick a lot on the rest of the outposts that the Spanish had. There were cannons on top of that, and on the inlet side there's rings so ships could tie off to it. Now to follow the normal intercoastal, you're going to come around on the back side of Rattlesnake Island and run on straight down. Now you can get a shot of it at marker 82. You can still see the old fort. There's a shot of the fort from the back side of Rattlesnake Island. That's what it looks like. Up on the Palm Coast Bridge, and there's a marina right by it if you're a marina person, and pretty much a straight stretch. It's a Flagler Beach Bridge in the distance, and hard to believe we've covered 50 miles today. But to the right's a channel leading to an old abandoned cement plant. We're going to go back here and use that for an anchorage tonight. It's been extremely windy all day, as you've seen, and we've been out running this front, or well, we really can't outrun anything, but you know, we've been skirting the edge of it, trying to get south. The chart guide says after this little cut, anchor, it's safe to anchor after that. So we'll pick a spot down here and throw the hook over. Just so you know where we're at, this is Flagler Beach, and this is the cement plant up here at Green 11, and it's a good anchorage, well protected from the wind we've been suffering through all day long. A much needed dog break.